Hello, my name is Rob. I am... yeah. My name is Rob. I am the owner and creator of Lair of OmnusI YouTube channel. Here for answering another RPGaDay question from the RPG Brigade of Facebook. Today is the 23rd day of August, and the keyword is surprise. I hope you were surprised when you saw a deadly mind flayer. Yeah. So that you don't have to hear me talking through a mask, we'll do it this way. And the green dreads look awesome on me, man. So, surprise. Fun topic. We've already had mystery, which sometimes can end up in a bit of a surprise. But true surprise, I think, is something that is a useful tool in a game master's toolbox, quite honestly. Now, I have gone around and around with my partner and friend, Tim Harper, of Samwise7 channel on YouTube, because he loves random tables. He loves the element of surprise, and I don't. We've had the discussion, and my advice to him was to get rid of all the random tables from his game that he's creating. We're kind of creating, and he likes them. He really pushed back and said he likes random tables. He intends there to be random tables in the game, and it's his game, and I understand that. And I have learned to appreciate what random tables do. A surprise mechanic, which sounds horribly like loot boxes from video games, but a surprise mechanic in a game adds replayability. It adds a sense of suspense and wonder, especially if the player is not completely cognizant of all of the options and possibilities that the surprise can bring. Oftentimes achieved by a draw of a card or a roll of the die on a table. For instance, a perennial favorite since they first appeared, I believe in 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons, Wild Mages. Now personally, I prefer, if I'm going to be in a group of adventurers, I prefer my mages to be reasonably predictable. I want, when they throw a fireball, I want things to die from that fireball. I don't want it to randomly do something weird. In that case, I generally value consistency and a lack of surprise. For the people who love wild mages, though, they giggle when a spell is deflated because of a surge and it doesn't do as much damage. Or they try to cast a spell and something else happens. Even if bad things happen to them, a lot of times it's just part of the surprise and it's part of the enjoyment of playing that class. And I can deal with that. It kind of goes against the bitter nature deep inside of me that wants to control and wants to know what's going to happen. But I understand some people really like that kind of thing. So I have embraced randomness to some extent. For instance, another popular item throughout Dungeons & Dragons history, the Wand of Wonder. Later turned into the Rod of Wonder, and now it's back to a Wand of Wonder again. Magical item that you point and something happens. I've been finding that there are an awful lot of players who really are familiar with the different things that thing can do. Really familiar. To the point where they have cost assessed that it's generally a significant percentage better of something at least useful happening when they do that. Sometimes bad things will happen, but generally something good will happen. In essence, they've taken an unpredictable item and added predictability to it. They know the sphere of things that can happen. And even though some of them are bad, a fireball dropping on the caster, that's certainly bad. But they know some of them are silly, and they will giggle if grass suddenly starts growing up in the middle of a dungeon. Or something trivial happens, like a stream of small gems flies out and hits somebody for negligible damage. That's fun. That's entertaining. And they know the possibilities, or at least they know some of the key ones. Well, what's the wonder in that? Unless, of course, you make your own homebrew tables. Yes. I looked at the abilities and things that it can do, and one of the earliest things that I did was I made my own Wand of Wonder tables. So my Wands of Wonder don't work like other people's Wands of Wonder. In general, I only really pull those tables out, though, when I'm doing something that my regular group isn't involved in. Because I have made a couple of these tables, and some of them are kind of horrific, honestly. Not that they're cursed. There's still good things that can happen. But fireball dropping at your feet is not the worst thing that can happen with one of my Wands of Wonder. No. Force lycanthropy, body transformations, strange magical effects, swapping abilities and powers for a certain time with people in the area. There's a lot. It's a magical world. I can create almost any effect I want. You're darn right, I took advantage of that. So there are some fun things that I've learned. I've also created my own magic mishap table. Back in 3rd edition, if somebody flubbed a spellcraft spell while they were casting something, if they critically failed, I had a table. It had 3 different percentile rolls based on severity, the nature of the change of the spell, and target was one of them. So you could be casting a fireball and accidentally hit yourself with a stinking cloud, for instance, if you rolled a really wacky offbeat transformation. Or you could suddenly grow moss all over your body. All kinds of fun stuff. I do remember, too, another popular thing was, back in the day, a Dragon magazine actually had alternate Wands of Wonder. And I think they had 2 separate 100 tables, or maybe it was a 200 table. But, yeah, I mean, things like that jog people out of a sense of what they can expect can be fun. Certainly, it can raise the tension when you really don't know what's possible. I was recently playing with a bunch of younger players. Relatively, compared to me, fairly inexperienced. They'd only been playing for a year and a half, and they were young folks. But when I produced wands or potions of wonderment, they got excited, and they were determined by the end of the night they were drinking those things no matter what. They charged into a bar, jumped up on stage, and one swigged his potion down. And cackled with glee as a pair of lightning bolts shot out of his chest and fried civilians in the bar, which that didn't go well with the populace, but he thought it was hilarious. And then the wizard, not to be outdone, drank his, and all of a sudden hair shot out of all parts of his body that could bear hair, out to 8 feet. So instantly he's covered in 150 pounds of hair, and he, being a feeble wizard, he just tottered over, and madness just reigned in that tavern. So yeah, things like that. Fun for the people who like those kind of things. I have learned a little bit to embrace it. Tim is an awesome person. He's got great ideas. And sometimes, if you think that your way is always the right way, you're going to trample over a lot of really good ideas. So, you know, Tim's random tables are definitely going to stay in his game. I'm not going to demand that they change. There will be guidelines, certainly. There will be things that cannot happen out of those tables, I think, to balance the game out a little bit better. But all in all, sometimes you have to embrace surprise and see the good in it and enrich your world a little bit. Surprise isn't necessarily bad. You can try to prepare for it, but there's always going to be something that will pop up when you least expected it. So, I hope you've enjoyed this little meandering chat, and I hope that you like and subscribe me, first of all. But secondly, you don't hesitate to come back tomorrow, when again I talk about something else in a game, and that'll be the next time that I crawl in front of the internet and make one of these videos for you. So, thank you for joining me, and farewell.